Hello everybody, welcome to John's Sword Discovery. Today I want to talk a little bit about sabers, and this one in particular is a pretty fine example of a Karabela Saber as far as modern reproduction goes. This one here was, believe made by a company called a.k.a. Handicrafts, and I believe they're based in Turkey, I think. They're in recent years have made some very interesting pieces and actually very high quality and good historical accuracy for the price. With these, what I've encountered are sabers, not only of this kind, but of other varieties, which are actually very well balanced, very good edge geometry, proportions, not only being very historically accurate and very close to what some of the originals are. I've been handling for many years a number of originals of this particular type and of similar types, but as far as their general handling, these are nice. These actually handle very well. The weight and balance, I haven't actually weighed it yet, but I'd say right around 2 pounds, maybe slightly less. 1 pound, several ounces, a little over 2 pounds. The balance, though, the balance is just exquisite on this. And just about any kind of cut, traditional cut or otherwise, it just handles smoothly. Both the initial strike and the return. I don't have a lot of room right here in my current location to wield it in full form, but just about any kind of maneuver, the balance is extremely good, very smooth, very free-flowing, no effort to move it at all. The overall fit and finish as well. There are a couple spots that show a little bit of adhesive and other things might be regarded as imperfections, but on the whole these cosmetic issues are small, not really significant. They don't impact the functionality of the piece, not that I've found so far, and really they don't really affect the visual or aesthetic look, in my opinion, too much. Some people might think so. Could definitely be a little bit of off-putting for some, but on the whole, it's not very much of a significant issue. But the fit and finish as far as functionality is actually quite good. The guard, the scale grips, typical of this Karabela type, all fit very well. The cross sections are very nice. You don't see these on a lot of reproductions of this particular type or of others from, sabers in general from the early modern period, in the Western world or even further east. The fullering is very well done, both for its functional aspects, which, go hand in hand with what we were just discussing with its overall maneuverability and weight and balance, but as well as aesthetic purposes. Yeah, these are just so close to the originals. And I've rarely encountered this before, certainly not in what most people consider like a mid-price range production piece, but even in some higher-end and custom pieces that I've seen of this or very generally similar sabers, you don't always see these kind of cross-section, this kind of edge geometry or the distal taper. You don't always see that, but this individual, the company, the maker who makes this actually got it right. He actually did a very good job on this. Distal taper is pretty much consistent with what you would see on originals for this type, and that of course, as with any kind of sword, goes hand in hand with helping it to function and maneuver in the way that it's supposed to for the type of sword that it is. So he really hit the mark on this. I hope to be adding more of these to my armory. Other models that he makes of other period sabers. He has a number, a.k.a. Handicrafts. I'll try and get a link for that soon. But very well done. The scabbard also fairly reasonably consistent for the historical type, at least on the outside. Good leather or some grade of leather. I can't say exactly what. But yeah, wood core, very good. Brass hanging eyelets, forget the exact terminology at the moment. Brass cap. I believe it may actually be more brass lining on the inside. I haven't taken it apart, but I'll try to check up and link back on that soon. But as far as the overall general accuracy, the aesthetics, and equally as well, just the functionality of the piece in and of itself, draws easily, goes back easily but tight and firm, so it's not going to fall out. That's a big deal, that it goes in and holds firmly when it's all the way rested. And it just all comes together in a one package that is just, very good for its price range. And in general, I think the price range on these is somewhere in the 300 to 450 USD range. So overall, very good value for its money, and just in generally very well made, even compared to some higher end pieces I've seen. Just altogether, it comes together as something I'm very satisfied with. So yeah, there need to be more makers of sabers, reproduction sabers, early modern, late Renaissance, as we should say. These became common in the 17th century. Maybe with some earlier prototypes a little bit earlier, like in the later 16th. There is some evidence for that. But from the 17th and then well into the 18th century, this and variations of this Karabela Saber, particularly in Poland and other regions in Eastern Europe, some of the Ottoman Turks also had. In fact, these are generally, this specific style is often considered to be more of a Ottoman prototype, and then it became adopted and developed slightly further, where it became in the West, where it got to be considered more typically Polish and some Hungarians, and the major other Eastern European powers and some of the lesser known ones adopted this and variations of it quite extensively in the 17th and 18th centuries. So for one sort of iconic saber, and as well as a reproduction of it, this is fairly nice. Very nice, even, I would say. That's all for now. That's John for John's Sword Discovery channel. Please like and subscribe. Follow the link below, and we'll have much more interesting things for you coming up in the near future. Hope you like this and enjoyed. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.